Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope you're having a wonderful day. So what I would like to do today is go over the entire portfolio. We have looked at last video all the dividends, the rental income, all the income side of things. In today's video I'm going to show you all the buys, all the sales, give you an overview of entire portfolio, tell you exactly what I'm going to do with a couple of stocks that I'm trying to get rid of moving forward, inshallah. And then I'm going to do a quick buy towards the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. So yeah, let's get started. But before we do that, as usual, if you can join us in the Patreon account, that would be absolutely wonderful, where you can see all the buys and the sales as I sell and buy every single week. As you know, I like to spend at least £250 every single week, and that's exactly what we're going to do at the end of the video. So yeah, every time I make a new buy, new sale, whatever, I share it with the community first, so you can go and check that out. As well as, of course, you get dividend trackers, ETF trackers, and then private Discord, where you can actually see just have a chat with a lot of brothers who are actually sharing good practices, sharing what they're doing, what they're not doing, and so on. So if you're interested in those kind of things, please come and join us. So talking about the general markets for the month of May, as you can see, majority of the basically indices are actually flat. Nothing huge other than the Nasdaq, which is done okay, and a lot of that came from probably the Nvidia and the couple of other semiconductor companies or AI companies like Microsoft and so on. So the rest of the markets are trying to catch up, and we are kind of flat. The rest of the markets, the S&P 500 about just 3% for the month, but a year to date is actually healthy 11% and 14% for the Nasdaq, about 6% for the FTSE 100, and about 2% in Dow Jones. So a lot of the 30 companies in these indices is actually down quite a bit. So maybe in the next few months there might be opportunities to look at the Dow Joneses, basically Dow Joneses Industrials, and then see what's in there. I've got a few videos planned coming up soon where we look at the entire S&P 500 sectors. Inshallah, I'll be doing that in the coming weeks. Let's now look at all the buys and the sales for the month of May. By the way, apologies for my voice because it's a little bit, I'm still got a little bit cold, so I'm getting better, but alhamdulillah, so this is what you see right now is my portfolio, and you can actually grab this and tracker that I actually use on the Patreon account. If you go there, you will find it in there. So what we're going to do first is look at all the buys and sales, and that is exactly what we're doing now. Now, as you can see, there are 4 companies that have been added to, okay, for the month of May. MSCI is one of the companies that's still down quite a bit. I bought almost 2 shares of this company. It cost me £543. Dividend yield 1.22. That gave me about basically they pay about £5 or £4, sorry, for every share of this company that I own. That was basically, that's going to give me about £7.82. RB is another one. I bought about 4 shares, about £90. That will give me almost about £8. J&J, I only bought 1 share of this great company. It's down quite a bit in the last few months, so I'm taking advantage of that. And then I've basically added to a tiny bit of the ETF, about 2.5 shares, 2.8 shares of that ETF. And of course, this one I will talk about it at the end. So for the month of May so far, I've spent £914. I still got today's basically buy, so I will let you know exactly towards the end of the video how much we actually spend. And that basically the income side of things that I've added about £19 to the entire portfolio, which is good. Remember, my target is about £1,000 every single month. Towards the end of my ISA account, I actually buy more. So that's basically what I like to do towards the end. So right now, I'm just going to keep it. If the markets come down quite a bit, of course, I would spend a bit more than £1,000. But towards the end, probably around October, November onwards, I like to buy more as we get closer to the ISA account, towards the end of the ISA account life cycle, basically. So now you've seen all the buys and sales. There was no sales in this month, to be honest. This is the first time I've not actually made any sales, but I will definitely be doing some sales for the next month, and I'm going to share that with you guys in a second. But before we do that, what I would like to do is just show you the entire portfolio. As you can see, we're down quite a bit. At one point to basically it was £106,000, but right now we're looking at £102,000. So which is basically fine, because to be honest with you, I am not basically worried about whether this basically goes to in the red or not, because what I'm trying to do is basically accumulate as much as I can when it comes to these companies. So let's have a look at the percentage wise side of things. So I've got 26 investments. Qualcomm is my biggest holding right now. It's been changing between Qualcomm, Broadcom, and S&P Global, as well as Public Storage, which has been my top holding at some point. So it has been changing quite a bit. So I'll just pause the video. You can pause the video and have a look at the allocation. So what I'm trying to do is don't have any companies more than about 6% or so. Okay, so this one has now gone a little bit. My plan moving forward is to look into this again. I'm going to do a little bit more research. If I feel like, you know what, I need to trim it, I will do that, because I'll show you very quickly. As you can see here, it's now all basically up, up about 67%, and that's quite a lot. Okay, which is quite nice. I've not taken any profit of this company at all. With the other companies, I've done that to Broadcom, and it has come back again. I've done that to what else have I done to? I've actually done to ASML as well. So a lot of the technology companies, I like to take bit profit off the table wherever I can. So I haven't done that to Qualcomm, so I'm going to do a little bit more research, see how things are in the next few weeks, and then inshallah, if whatever I do, I will of course let you know. So what I'm going to do is just quickly go over some of the companies that are down quite a lot. The rest of them are green. Okay, there's not much basically to say about some of these companies. Everything seems actually fine so far. This one has come down again, Hershey, and I don't mind actually adding to it. So if it comes back down again, I'll probably start buying a bit more. Intuit has actually gone down quite a bit, so it's now up about 7% or £155. Now, I basically listened to the earnings, and there was nothing huge other than just one or two small little things, and it went down about 8-9%. But I think a lot of people were taking profit off the table. That's probably a lot to do with that, rather than just the company not reporting great earnings report, which is not true. So yeah, so it was really good, but overall I'm going to keep an eye on it. If it comes back down again, maybe another 4 or 5%, I might start adding to it, because I only have 5 shares. I want to get to a few more shares. I do own this in the family portfolio, which basically reminds me, if you're interested in that portfolio, go and join us in the Patreon account. You get access to that. ETF, I've just been buying a little bit, as you've seen early. J&J, I added to it recently. Lind is one of the companies that has come down quite a bit, so I will be adding to it, inshallah. Mastercard is actually down quite a bit now as well, which is really interesting. So again, I will be looking at that again. So I will share this with you guys as we go along in the next 2 weeks, inshallah, what I'm going to do with some of the companies that has come down quite a bit, especially Mastercard. This is one of my favorite companies. This and Visa are really great companies. So in terms of margins and everything else, they're wonderful businesses. So I will be definitely adding to it. Medtronic is still in the red, about 9%, which is fine. It has come down. I think at one point it hit about almost, let me see, in the last about 87, almost closer to $90 US. Right now it's about 81, so it has come down quite a bit. Merck is still the same, still up, and MSCI about 6-7% down right now. I've got 8 shares. I'm gonna get to 10 shares inshallah while it's still down, so I will be buying more of that. Procter & Gamble, I'm going to leave it alone. Public Storage, right, so this is one interesting one, because I've read their earnings report, and the insurance side of things looks like it's actually growing. The CEO has actually talked about the fact that they want to increase that in the next few years, which is now gone over about 5%. So I have, my option is, and if you look at any of the Sharia compliant notes from the basically scholars, they actually say it's about you can give it about 90 days or 3 months, whatever it is. So I'm going to give about 90 days for this, basically for this company. If it bounces back in those 90 days, I'm going to sell it, take that money and put it into something else, inshallah. And moving forward, I actually do not think I will be owning any REITs, because REITs are very dangerous when it comes to Sharia compliance side of things, because they can easily change their business. So I don't want to own any more REITs, and normally this is an income play, and unfortunately has not basically done well at all. And of course, it's a great company and is actually done well in terms of price appreciation as well as dividends, but the fact that they're now focusing more on the insurance side of things, I'm going to take my money and actually put to work somewhere else. So I'm just going to basically give it about 3 months to bounce it back. As soon as it gets to that 10% up basically from where we are now, inshallah I will be selling it. Qualcomm, like I said, I might trim it, but I'll let you know what happens. Another great company. I'm going to keep this one here for a while. I'm going to get to 100 shares inshallah. Rio Tinto, I would like to buy more. It's up quite a bit, so I might just leave it alone for a few more weeks and see how things go. Again, if the iron ore prices go up, again, this company does really well. If it comes back down, then exactly the same thing happens. This one has been, right now I think it's fairly valued, but again, the fact I'm up 16%, I'm not going to touch it. Union Pacific, not touching it for a while. UPS, I might actually buy a little bit more while it's still down this much. It has come down quite a bit in the last few weeks, so I think I might add to it. And then Visa is also basically come down quite a bit, but I'm going to leave it alone. I'm not going to add to it. Now, before the market's closed, we are going to add, we're going to buy £250 worth of shares of this great company. Right now as we speak, we own 8.3 shares, so that will now run it up hopefully to basically 9 shares. Again, this is now, I'll show you quickly. If we go to Yahoo Seeking Alpha, I want to just quickly show you the price and side of things. So we have 13 strong buys, 6 buys, 8 buys, and 1 strong sell. And in terms of price wise, it looks like about 10% upside from where we are. According to Morningstar, is actually fairly valued right now. And in terms of growth side of it, basically we're almost expecting double digits in terms of EPS year over year, and about 3%, 6%, 5% side of things in terms of revenue side of things. So nothing actually too big, but at the same time I do feel like I really like the business. I want to accumulate basically maybe at 15 shares. So right now I'm just own about 9 shares, so I'm just gonna leave it for the next couple of weeks and then see, hopefully if it comes back down maybe 4 or 5%, then I will be buying more of that inshallah. So that is now gone through, and as you can see, we now have basically added 9 shares of this great company. Now that's all I wanted to share with you guys moving forward. So like I said to you guys, Qualcomm, I probably would end up trimming it if the basically, depending on the data, depending on things moving forward. I'm going to do a little bit more digging and inshallah see what to expect from the business moving forward. Like I said, the only reason I'll probably sell if I was to is just to bring it back down to maybe at least a 4.5% to 5% or whatever. But this one I'm just gonna wait for another maybe a couple of more weeks, if not a couple of more months, and then see what happens inshallah from there onwards. But yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do inshallah. I've got a couple of companies that I'm planning to add to the portfolio inshallah, that seem a little bit undervalued at the moment, great businesses as well. So I will share that with you when I have a bit more time inshallah. And final thing I want to share with you guys is if you have watched the last video, if you have not watched it, go and watch it. If you have watched it, I forgot to mention one thing, and that is basically when it comes to the dividend income side of things, we are still heading in the right direction. We're now over £600, and we still got basically more than half a year to go. So we want to beat basically this 100,600 inshallah for the month for this year. So we'll see how that goes inshallah moving forward. So yeah, I didn't include this in the last video, so I just wanted to share with you guys. And like I said, if you're interested in to basically get hold of this basically tracker that we're using here, just go to the Patreon account and you get access to that inshallah. Have a wonderful day. Assalamu alaikum.